Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome to a brand new game on the channel called Factory Town, which is sort of a city builder slash production line management game. So let's see, let's go ahead and let's do a new game. And so let's just keep everything default, just for starting out. For the sake of starting out, we'll keep everything default. So we're gonna hit create. And ooh, look at this map. So we got lots of resources around. We have some rivers here that we're gonna have to contend with, making bridges and such to make sure that we can get over to all these fabulous resources, delicious resources. Although it looks like we may not actually have to for a while because we have all of this right here. So we start out, we have 4 little citizens and we have our base. And basically all we need to do, so this is sort of like the tutorial, so we have hints over here. And basically we need to harvest wood and harvest wood to build some houses. So we're gonna click on our little guy here and we're gonna click on a tree and then we're gonna drag it back to the base. And he's gonna start chopping down trees and bringing wood. And we're gonna get this guy and we're gonna have him do the same thing. And then once we get enough wood for a house, which says right here, we need 15 to build a house. And then we look up here, we actually have it now, we have 16. So we have our little hotbar down here, which you can either press B to bring up your menu. So like we have our house, we have lumber mill, we have workers, we have our paths, tools, decor, or you have a little hotbar down here, which is actually customizable, but I'm gonna hit 4 because that's for a house. Now we want to place this guy. Where would be a good spot for him? Probably, I'm thinking in this spot, because even though this is technically like a city builder, it's not like, you know, we have to make sure that our citizens have, you know, that like we're not really managing their houses so much. This is all about resources and making sure that our town has enough resources to survive. But there's no real, like, you know, there isn't inclement weather, there isn't fighting with, like, you know, other little villages. It's basically, this is a production line management game with like a city builder skin, if that makes sense. Okay, so we need to create some workers, which here it says we have 4 out of 6 capacity, so we can do 2 more, just like that. And so now we have to like supply our house. So to make our citizens happy and raise our happiness, which is this right here, we're currently at a 0, we need to supply the house with goods. And if you click on a house, you can see up here, so there's like grains, meats, fruits and veggies, and dairy. So if we want to supply our house here with some grain, well, we have some grains over here. So we're gonna take a couple guys here and we're gonna just do the same old, click on the resource and then drag it to the building where we want them to go. And so those 2 guys are gonna start bringing grain to this house. And don't worry, we're gonna eventually be able to build like a food market, which automatically distributes like goods to the houses. So instead of sending grain to the house, we'll send grain to the food market, and then that automatically distributes to your houses. So now it's telling us we need to build a path, just because it makes it a little bit easier for our little guys to walk in. So I'm gonna kind of observe where they're walking now. So he's kind of walking here. You can't really build on the water, that makes sense, but we can build right there, and then they'll walk along the path there. And same right there, so put a little path there. So like even if we want to extend that path there, yeah, so they'll take the path to the trees just because it's a little bit easier for them to walk. So now we need to build a lumber mill, because we want a lumber mill so that we can have planks. and we get planks from wood that we get from our trees. So I'm gonna hit B, and we have some stuff unlocked. Footpath, which I've already built, workers and buildings. So we're gonna do a lumber mill, and we want it pretty close to, or at least at this point in our village, we want it close to the base and trees, right? So I'm thinking we may actually put him, oh, we don't have enough population. So actually I need to build another house. So let's build ourselves a house. So I'm just gonna kind of keep it to semi near to each other. It doesn't really matter too much, It's like we don't have to manage traffic and things like that. So if we do, so we still need more resources. So actually let's look at, so we need population, we need 15 gold, and we need stone actually. So we have these guys here. So we're gonna have them bring stone to the base. There we go. So once we get 15 stone, which is right up here, we have one already. Now we have two. We can build ourselves a lumber mill, which I'm thinking, now this is sort of skipping ahead a little bit in as far as like a little tip and tricks sort of thing. But if you build your lumber mills kind of on the shore of some water, the lumber mill will automatically acquire water, which you definitely need. You'll need water later on as well. But okay, so we're doing good on stone. In fact, we have enough now. And I'm kind of thinking, like, I want to put the lumber mill right here, but we have some stone in the way. So we have this remove resource, which does cost money. If I bring up the menu again. So, oops. It says it. So it costs 20 gold per thing, which we only have 79. So if we select our lumber mill, if I can place him like right here, that would actually be perfect. So let's get rid of that, and then we'll do. Okay, well apparently I can't remove these stones in the water, which is fine. As long as we can just build him right here, which we're just waiting on some gold now. So the lumber mill takes 15 gold, which we have 13, and then the stone, and of course wood, because everything requires wood to build. So we're gonna put him like right here. Oh, and actually it was close enough. So, all right, so we unlocked some new buildings. We have a crate, a grain mill, workshop, a chute, and some scaffolding and some other things here. You'll notice when I placed this, it had a blue, like it was highlighted in blue. That means that it's automatically collecting water, which is a good thing. But what would we want to do? So with our production buildings, you have recipes, and different production buildings have different recipes. So a lumber mill, of course, involves wood. So we need to produce planks. So we're going to click on planks, and then you'll see down here, this will tell you the recipe. I mean, it says it up here. It requires 2 wood and 3 seconds of time to produce 1 plank. And we have 0 wood. So what we need to do is we need to take one of our guys, and actually, we have space for 1 extra guy. So we're going to take our worker here. We're going to select the lumber mill. So you have 2 options usually in your production buildings. You have supply and you have deliver. So we're going to left click on deliver, or no, I'm sorry. Let's start that over. We're going to click on deliver wood to the lumber mill. And he's just going to go back and forth, and he's going to produce or send wood to the lumber mill, and we're going to start producing planks. So now you can see we're producing planks at 1 per 2 pieces of wood. And right now this is our output. So production buildings typically, for the most part, they all have a limited amount of basically internal storage. So what you're going to want to do eventually is you want to take your output here and send it to like a storage. Right now, our only storage is our base. Here in a little bit, we'll be able to build a barn. But now you can see our output is full, so we are kind of stalled. We're not producing any more planks because we have nowhere to put them. So we need to get another person, which I'm going to actually build another house. So I'm going to build him right there. That'll give us 2 more spots for people, and I'm just going to place them. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to deliver planks to the base. And so now that we're producing planks and we're delivering it to the base for storage, we can now upgrade a house. So it says houses can be upgraded to increase population capacity. Upgraded houses also consume items slightly faster. So that's another thing you have to kind of keep in mind, is eventually, you know, the whole point is to make your production lines as efficient as possible. So we're going to click a house. We'll just click our first one to upgrade. So to upgrade, the cost is 10 gold or yellow coins and 5 planks, which we have 16, now 17 yellow coins and 26 planks. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade. Now we have an upgraded house. It's a level 2. And down here you'll see what the house consumes. So for instance, a level 1 house consumes food. And it needs grains, meats, fruits and vegetables, and dairy. A level 2 house requires the same food. It also needs some stuff from the general store, basic materials and whatnot, which we will get to do. Right now, we have to upgrade our base, and that gives us bigger storage capacity, among other things. So, to upgrade our base, we need 20 yellow coins, and 10 planks, 20 stone, and 4 happiness. So we almost have the yellow coins. The other thing we need to really focus on here is our happiness. And we get happiness by making sure that your houses have enough goods with them. But we aren't delivering grain to any of the other houses. So we're gonna have this guy get that one. And then we're gonna have this guy supply that house. And that should raise up our happiness, hopefully just enough so that we can upgrade our base. All right, so we met the minimum requirements now, so we can upgrade our base. So we're gonna go ahead and click the upgrade button. Yay, new unlocks available. House max increased by 4, new buildings unlocked, food market. So the food market is what I was talking about before, which will help us automatically send goods to our houses, so we don't have to have individual citizens delivering to each house. So we're going to bring up our build menu. You can see we have a lot of new stuff here. It's wood bench. This is all the scaffolding we already unlocked. We unlocked a chute, which we're not quite ready for. We'll get there. And then a food market. So we have everything except for yellow coins. We need 10 more. And we're slowly producing more coins. All right, so we have enough to build our food market, and I want to place them here. So I'm gonna actually remove the path. So here's another little tip. If you want to remove paths quickly and you don't want to, like if you just select a path and then you right click on a path, it actually deletes it. So it's a just kind of quick handy way, especially if you're kind of already building your paths. It's a very handy way to do that. So this is our food market, and you'll notice it's sort of ring of influence, or a circle of influence, if you will. So basically any houses inside the ring will automatically be supplied with the resources that the food market can handle. So we're gonna plop him down right there, and these houses are gonna be automatically supplied by the food market. So what we can do with that is, so now I'm going to take this guy, instead of making him supply a house, I'm going to click on the grain and he's going to supply our food market. Same with this guy. So he's going to go over here, and those guys are going to supply the food market, And then, so we have these two guys right now. We don't really need both of them we don't need 4 people supplying grain. It's like harvesting grain. We just don't need to do that right now. So the next step is turning the grain that we're collecting into flour. And we do that, like it says here, with a grain mill. In a grain mill, it needs a population of 1, 30 coins, 20 stone, and 10 planks. And again, we're kind of at this point, we're basically waiting on our coins for everything. So we need 30, we have 27. And I'm thinking we'll want to place him probably, because we want to be able to deliver the flour once it is being produced to the food market quickly enough. So I'm thinking maybe we'll put it right here actually, and I'll probably actually have to remove those guys. Hopefully that one will be enough. I think that should fit. We're just basically, again, we're waiting on the yellow coins. They take a little bit to rack up, but they will get there eventually. All right, so I just plopped down our grain mill. So now we can start producing flour. So again, this is a production building. So that means it has recipes specific to its building. So we're gonna select our recipe and we're gonna select flour. You can, ignore animal feed right now because that's a ways off before we really need to do that. So now we have our grain mill, which we're gonna actually send. So now we're gonna change it again. So our grain collectors, if you will, or harvesters, we're gonna send them to the grain mill instead. And then we're gonna take this worker and we're gonna have him deliver flour that's made here to the market. And so you'll see the recipe for flour is 3 units of grain. And now we have it and it's producing flour. Yay! Woohoo! Never thought you'd be so excited about flour, did ya? No, sir. So now that's humming along, and the flour gets delivered to the houses, which makes them happier because, as it said, flour gets you more money than just regular grain does. Now, if we want to still have grain, so we have, for instance, this guy, we'll actually have him deliver grain to the food market as well. Actually, no, never mind. So our next step is we need to build a workshop, which lets us craft things. So let's open up our menu and see what we need for a workshop. So again, it's the same as the grain mill. And oh, we actually just got it. All right, so let's go ahead and build our workshop. And again, we want to kind of keep him, at least for now, fairly close to the rest of our production area. And I'm thinking we're gonna place him right here. So we'll do workshop right there. And yay, it unlocks a bunch of new buildings. We have a barn, a stonemason, we have some fences, stairs, and everything else in between. Okay, and again, like I already said, it's a production building. It has recipes, and we're gonna actually want to start producing a wheel. So let's do that. Let's produce wheels. In order to produce a wheel, we need 2 planks. Well, where do we have planks? We have planks in our base, right? So we need to take a guy. We're gonna select planks here, and he's gonna deliver to the workshop. And just like that, we are now producing wheels, which is excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good start for our village so far. It's fairly manually, I wanted to say manually automatic. All of our citizens are doing all the work at the moment, but eventually we'll get to the point where a lot of the production is automated and we'll be able to send goods automatically between buildings, but that's a bit ways off for now. So I'm going to leave this part here. I also want to mention I am currently running a contest on my channel until March 12th. And that contest is, if you leave a comment, suggestion, or feedback in the comments down below, you will be entered to win a game, a Steam code. And on March 12th, I'm going to do a random drawing of all the comments, and you will win a random game key. And now, I will say this, it's not going to be like a AAA $60 game, but you have my word, it will be a good game. It'll have positive reviews on Steam. But yeah, just as a, it's sort of like a little thank you guys for, kind of hanging out with me, watching videos, commenting, and things like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Factory Town. I'm interested to hear your opinions, or if you've played it, if you have any tips yourselves. This is currently, at the time I'm recording this, is not quite in early access yet. I was graciously gifted a code from the developer of the game, and I wanted to try it out and show it off for you guys because I think it's a really cool game. I love the mix of, like I said, production line management / city builder. So, like I said, be sure to leave your comment, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.